Just yesterday, a leak surfaced suggesting that the Samsung Galaxy S25 would officially launch on January 23. But hold up, a fresh leak has just emerged, and it's saying the big reveal might actually happen one day earlier, on January 22. So, what's the deal? Which date should we trust? Well, this latest info comes from Max Jambor, a leaker with a pretty solid track record when it comes to Samsung-related rumors. Max posted the January 22 launch date on X, formerly Twitter, and given his history with reliable leaks, this new date definitely has some credibility. So, which leak is the real deal? Honestly, both could be correct. Here's why. The original leak from yesterday came from South Korea, so it's likely referring to the local date in Korea. But remember, the actual event is expected to take place in San Francisco. With a time difference of 17 hours between the two locations, it would make sense that the event happens on January 22 in San Francisco, but it'd technically be January 23 in South Korea. This timing would also make January 22 the likely date for the UK, so for most of the world, January 22 seems like the more accurate day. That said, we can't rule out the possibility that neither leak is entirely spot on. However, considering these leaks are pretty much in sync, and there haven't been any major conflicting reports, we're leaning toward January 22 being the correct launch date for the Samsung Galaxy S25. But wait, there's more. This isn't the only new leak about the Galaxy S25. Roland Quant, another reputable source in the tech leak world, recently posted on Threads, yep, that's still a thing, about the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. According to Quant, the Ultra version will come with a 4855 mAh battery, but it will be marketed as a 5000 mAh battery. If that number sounds familiar, it's because it lines up with an earlier leak about the Galaxy S25 Ultra's battery capacity, and that's likely what we'll see in the final product. If this holds true, it means the Galaxy S25 Ultra's battery will be the same capacity as the S24 Ultra, which isn't exactly a huge upgrade in terms of power. But hey, maybe Samsung has other ways of improving battery life, like more efficient chips or better software optimization. So we'll have to wait and see how it performs in the real world. And here's one more thing. The base Galaxy S25 model has also been spotted on Geekbench, thanks to leaker Jukanlasriv. The listing shows a South Korean version of the phone running the Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset. Normally, Samsung tends to use its own Exynos chips in South Korean models, so the fact that this version is using the Snapdragon 8 Elite is a strong indication that Samsung might be sticking with Snapdragon processors globally for the Galaxy S25 line. No Exynos variants this time around. The benchmark also mentions 12 gigs of RAM, which is great for performance, but here's the weird part. The base S25's single-core score came in at 2481, while the multi-core score hit 8658. Those numbers are a bit lower than the scores we saw in a previous benchmark for the Galaxy S25 Ultra, which was also using the Snapdragon 8 Elite and 12 gigs of RAM. That's a bit odd, considering they're using the same chipset, but we don't want to read too much into these early benchmarks. After all, benchmark scores can vary based on a lot of factors, and we've seen discrepancies in early tests before. At the end of the day, if the Galaxy S25 is really going to launch on January 22, we won't have to wait too long to get the full picture. All these leaks should be confirmed or debunked soon enough, and we'll get a clear idea of just how powerful the S25 lineup is when it officially drops. So, what do you think? Are you excited for the S25's launch? How do you feel about the battery capacity and the benchmark scores so far? Drop a comment below and let us know your thoughts. Alright, folks, let's dive into the full specs, design details, and expected pricing of the upcoming Samsung Galaxy S25 series to help you figure out which one might be your next smartphone. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any updates. We've got a lot to cover. First up, the standard Galaxy S25. The Galaxy S25 is set to rock a 6.36-inch dynamic AMOLED display. This screen isn't just pretty to look at, it promises improvements in brightness and color accuracy that will really make your content pop. You'll get a 120Hz refresh rate along with HDR10+ support and a sharp resolution of 1080 by 2340. Plus, it's all protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 3. So, durability is key. For selfies, you've got a 12-megapixel punch-hole camera up front, while the rear features a triple camera setup, including wide, ultra-wide, and telephoto lenses. The exact sensors are still under wraps, but we can expect some solid photography capabilities. Under the hood, the S25 will be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 in the US, while global models will have the Exynos 2500 or MediaTek chipsets. You can choose between 8-12 gigs of RAM and storage options, ranging from 128 gigs up to 1 terabyte, all using speedy UFS 4 technology. This beauty is equipped with a 4100 mAh battery that supports 45-watt fast charging. And yes, it'll come with all the modern connectivity options you need: 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 7, and ultra-wideband support. It's launching with One UI 7 based on Android 15 and is expected to hit shelves starting at around $800 in January 2025. Next up, the Galaxy S25 Plus. Moving on to the Galaxy S25 Plus, this model features a larger 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED display with the same fantastic brightness and color improvements. You'll also enjoy a 120Hz refresh rate with HDR10+ and a resolution of 1440 by 3120, all wrapped up in Gorilla Glass Victus 3 for extra protection. Selfie lovers will still get that 12-megapixel punch-hole camera, and the rear camera setup mirrors the S25 with wide, ultra-wide, and telephoto lenses, though we're still waiting on specifics for the sensors. This one's also powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 in the US and Exynos 2500 or MediaTek chipsets globally. You'll get 12 gigs of RAM with storage options of 256 or 512 gigs, again using UFS 4 technology. The battery gets a boost to 4900 mAh battery that supports 45-watt fast charging and all the connectivity goodies like 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 7, and ultra-wideband support. It's launching with One UI 7 on Android 15 and is expected to start around $1,100 in January 2025. Now, let's talk about the star of the show, the Galaxy S25 Ultra. This powerhouse will feature a 6.9-inch dynamic AMOLED display with the same stellar improvements in brightness and color accuracy. It also boasts a 120Hz refresh rate, HDR10+, and a stunning resolution of 1440 by 3120, all shielded by Gorilla Glass Armor 2. For selfies, we're expecting a 12-megapixel camera, with some exciting rumors hinting at it possibly being the first S-series phone to have an under-panel camera. On the rear, you'll get a quad camera setup that includes wide, ultra-wide, telephoto, and a periscope lens. Again, specific sensors are yet to be revealed, but we might get a new 50-megapixel ultra-wide lens. This flagship will be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 across all regions and will come with 12 gigs of RAM, and this time you might also get to see a new 16 gigs variant and storage options of up to a whopping 1 terabyte, all utilizing UFS 4 technology. The battery here is a robust 5000 mAh battery that supports 45-watt fast charging. As with its siblings, it will support 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 7, and ultra-wideband, and it's set to launch with One UI 7 based on Android 15. The starting price? Expect around $1,300 in January 2025. Overall, the Galaxy S25 series looks promising, with some familiar elements from its predecessor, but also exciting enhancements, especially with the Ultra model. The exclusive Snapdragon release means we should see some solid performance improvements across the board. The new design of the S25 Ultra is a refreshing change, especially since previous models had a similar look for a while. Plus, there's a lot of focus on AI, with the collaboration between Samsung and Google, which means we can expect some cool new features at launch. While those of you rocking an S24 might not feel the urge to rush out and upgrade, anyone with an older S model or those considering their first Samsung phone will find these devices very appealing. The launch is still a bit away, but we can expect plenty more leaks as January approaches, and I'll be here to share them as soon as they pop up. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future.